right. It's Airbnb Brick here, still broadcasting live. Is this the last Lowell show from this Airbnb?
It is. This will be the last one.
Wow. This it's the end of an era, really. I mean, the amount of good times we've had you sitting right there.
Yeah. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget this place.
Yeah. And remind me, you're moving to your other place that you're renting more permanently, right?
Right.
Nice. And are you excited about that space? What kind of backdrop can we expect here? Can we get a little teaser?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna. It has an office room.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to be in there. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Why wouldn't you want to be in the office?
I had my old place. I put a bedroom for an office, and I just would never use it.
Yeah.
I'd end up on my laptop or something. I don't know.
Where at your old place was your desk set up? Because was that just more in like the living room area?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Exactly.
DFS Texas asking the correct questions. Would you say Brian is a rent seeker? I mean, you are quite literally seeking rent payments now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pay them. Rent seeking would be not paying them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And where are we at while we're doing the full real estate check-in? How's the lake house hunting coming?
Good.
Yeah?
Good. Yeah. I have an offer in right now, actually.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I can tell. We don't want to jinx anything, but that's exciting.
Right.
Is the lake house market as hot as the, regular, big city residential market?
Yeah, there's like 2 lake houses for sale in the 4-state area. There's like nothing on the market. Did I say this before? Like how many pieces of real estate are on the market total, do you think? I think I did.
I think you did, but I didn't realize that you were, fighting against so many people for one of these lake houses. I mean, is it like you and Osimo and the Chipotle bros all going after this thing?
I hope not. There's only like 1 million homes for sale in the whole country right now.
Yeah.
Which to me sounds like a tiny fraction of what it should be.
Yeah, I was just talking to my wife about it because we've been keeping our eye on stuff. I mean, more out of morbid curiosity right now because it's impossible. But we had the MLS login for real estate stuff. You can get it through Redfin now to get the email alerts. And I mean, the daily volume back when we bought this condo, I mean, there was 15 things in just our area alone popping up daily, and now it's maybe one thing that pops up a day. It's like literally like a 15x shortage relative to what it was 7 or 8 years ago here.
It's crazy. And there's no way they couldn't make more houses. You know what I mean? If there's like a lot of regulation problems with building and zoning issues and all sorts of things, just slowing a lot of building down. It's such a pain in the ass. I mean, there is the moratorium on foreclosures and stuff like that going on right now. That could like lead to a bunch of houses being on the market, unfortunately, in foreclosures, but that would drop the prices a bit.
Yeah, I've been taught. It seems like more and more people I've talked to are doing what you're doing: sell the top of this housing market, go rent somewhere, let things cool off. The problem for us too is like, how long are you going to have to wait to cool off? Because I was been reading a lot of stuff. Some people think this is like a 2 to 3 year thing where things might not change. Interest rates stay low. Like you said, stuff isn't being built. Inventory stays low. And it's like, are we just going to be in the same spot again in 2 years if we don't do anything?
Yeah. It's a clown economy. I said it a million times. It's like you're at the circus and you're trying to guess how many clowns are in the car. Right? No one knows how many clowns are in that fucking car. The whole we have absolutely no idea like when the ride's gonna stop. But
right,
like the way I look at it for buying anyways, like a lake house is it's not an investment. I'm just buying it. So I don't care. Like if you're buying a home and you could like maybe you're gonna have kids and you're gonna want to upgrade in 5 years or something like that, it's a different story. Like you're trying to make some money on it. But if you're just going to buy something for 30 years or until you're dead, what does it matter if you're at 270 or 400 or something like that, in 30 years?
Yeah. I actually was, have you ever heard of the podcast called Animal Spirits?
No.
I think they do like finance and business and stuff like that, but they just did a whole episode about the housing market and they had some expert on or whatever. But he was saying right now more than ever, like most people fall into that camp with their houses as far as like they're buying it for a place of shelter, not as like flipping this investment thing, which kind of changes kind of the dynamics of the market a bit too, I think.
Scott G here says in your chat, he refied. So like, this is another problem with the Fed, with the low interest rates. It's like, you're not Scott, but us, anyone, we're not the only ones who know interest rates are at historic lows, right?
Oh, and we refinance too. Yeah.
So that affects consumer behavior. So more people are going to go and buy now and spend now instead of later. And so that drives up the price artificially because there's not enough supply for the demand. When there wouldn't be, if interest rates were higher, then people can get higher savings accounts and or other ways to save their money. And then they might reconsider purchasing a home, and it would drop the prices. So it's all screwed up. But yeah, if you're going to stay there for 30 years, like, just buy it. Not financial advice.
Right. So what's it? I mean, how many offers do you think you're realistically competing against for your lake house?
I don't know.
A lot. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. What do we got? The chat. There's almost no incentive to pay my mortgage earlier when I could use that extra money to earn more than 3% APR on my refinance mortgage. Yeah, I think that's a thing that a lot of people are feeling. Paul, I just bought a house, been looking for 7 months. Am I crazy? I don't know. I bought it for the long haul. I think it also depends on like where you're living. Like Brian's in Chicago. I'm in Boston. I mean, outside of New York, LA, San Francisco, those are some of the like most competitive, insane real estate markets. I think in some areas though, it's probably way more reasonable.
And like they're saying people are leaving the cities and stuff like that because of the restrictions. Sure, I'm sure that's true, but it's not like really doing much.
Yeah.
Stuff's still expensive. But Florida, I guess, and Texas are just insane increases in prices.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, I haven't looked. But.
And it's like, I think too, a lot of boomers are downsizing, right? They sell the top on their big space, move into a condo, something smaller. They don't need, the 3-4 bedroom or whatever they had when they had kids. Now that everyone's out, there's just so many of those dynamics, I think, that are all leading to not much inventory at the upper end.
It's like the hardest market to play too. It's like, because you got to live there, and it's not just like you can sell some AMC shares just to buy some GME calls and let's be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it's everywhere. I believe that too. Austin, Texas, especially. I mean, I've heard Austin and Miami specifically, that's where all the crypto guys are all headed right now. Yeah. Everyone escaping, state taxes.
A lot of people are going to Miami. Our boy RBX.
Is he?
He's looking to buy a second house in somewhere there, I think.
Oh God, can you imagine how many slates RBX is going to miss if he lives in Miami instead of upstate New York?
Everyone's ROI just went up like 1.2% right there.
Oh my God, I can't believe. Have you? I mean, because you're, as far as I know, you're single right now. You're pretty, flexible. Have you thought about moving to a state like Florida or Texas?
No. I mean, maybe in like 10 years. My brother, we have like a family house kind of in Florida. Gotcha. So for my grandma who passed away. And so I could go there. My brother stays there and stuff like that. But
yeah.
What about you?
No, I mean, we're just so, I think, anchored here. My wife's parents are here. My wife's sister is about to have a baby. My wife just got a new job here. I'm obviously pretty flexible because now that I'm working online full time, I could theoretically be anywhere. But yeah, I think we're going to be in the kind of greater Boston area for the foreseeable future.
All right.
Yeah, it would be nice. I was just listening. Levitan is he's moving from Philly out to Denver, and I was definitely jealous of him being able to pull that off and making the leap. I think just in general, like the East Coast Yeah, it's just brutal. The summers, like you said, are humid. The winters suck, and I'm sick of snow shoveling and snow plowing. And then it's super expensive, and it's just like it doesn't have a ton going for it.
I mean, you lived in Colorado. He's going to Colorado. I
Yeah.
listened to that pod too because I wanted to see if he was going to Florida. I guessed he was probably going to Florida. I was wrong. What's the weather like?
Colorado it's similar in that it has 4 seasons, but it's like I don't know. I guess what I would say is there's like more charm to the seasons there. You can get a lot of snow, but it's still way more days of sunshine. The summers don't have the humidity. It's just the dry heat. There's ways to like take advantage of the winter more with quick access to the Rockies. And I don't know. I think it's definitely a better climate despite having 4 seasons as well.
I always think about this with Chicago. It's like why did my family stay here for so long? It gets so cold and then so hot and it can be pretty damn humid some days. Like 100 years ago, it was like, no, this is good. This is where we'll plant our flag. It's like, really? Okay.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, that happens to everyone, right? Where they get their roots, their ties, and whether it's out of like laziness or just fear of kind of the unknown and doing that. And it just gets logistically harder. The more roots, the more family, the job ties, like it becomes a huge ordeal to be like, we're just going to uproot ourselves and go move across the country.
Yeah, that's true. I have a feeling that the because of the intervention into the market, no one cared that much back then. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go here and 4x my return. You know what I mean? Like, I think I saw some stat from a few years ago. Over the last 100 years, accounting for inflation, so adding inflation into it, the housing market has gone up 1% in the States. Just 1%. That's accounting for inflation and across all markets. Yeah. So obviously in some markets you probably made a fortune. In some markets you lost money, like Arizona after 2008 or something like that. But yeah, it's not this like huge boon where you're gonna like 10x all the time.
No,
historically, anyways.
Yeah, it's the housing market is it's a little depressing right now. I feel it's crazy. I feel like you are experiencing literally like every single facet of the housing market: selling, trying to buy, renting, short-term renting. Like you're doing all of it.
It's also like, I think owning's not that great too. Like you still got to pay taxes. You don't know what, especially now with all like the debt. Usually, most major cities have their pension issues, and after COVID, with all the businesses closing, their tax revenue, who knows what it's going to look like next year? Maybe they just raise taxes on you. You know what I mean? But as a renter, you're most likely not going to pay that. Like eventually, the owner will raise rent to cover the difference, but like you don't have to deal with that. You don't have to deal with like a lot of the permits and on construction and a whole bunch of annoying stuff, which also slows down home building.
We got some, people are campaigning for their obscure places of residence. St. Paul, Minnesota, apparently North Dakota is looking for residents. And Dovey here says the Vegas market is solid, especially with Dave nearby. It made me a thought experiment of like, if I were single, where would I go and try to live? I think I would probably go back to San Diego, but I wouldn't be able to afford real estate where I would want to live in San Diego.
And you're paying 15% state income tax.
Yeah, I know. It's not ideal.
How about Puerto Rico?
Well, that's the the true crypto bros building their own place.
No taxes. The weather's pretty good.
You know what I would do before Puerto Rico? I would do Costa Rica. I've been to Costa Rica a couple times. No
Crime's
taxes.
a little worse though.
Are you sure?
Well, it's been a decade since I thought about moving after poker was shut down. Maybe it's better, but there are areas where there's like not that far away from San Jose and whatever that is still pretty bad. I mean, compared to the States anyways, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
it's
mean,
not, I mean, Puerto Rico's not a state, but it kind of is. So like if shit does go down, you're probably safer there. You know what I mean? Or if you get in trouble or something.
yeah, yeah. We did. I've been to Costa Rica 2 times now. And have driven around to a lot of the places. I could see. I honestly think I'm more of like on the extremes. Like I think I'd rather like go travel abroad for a year and like bounce around all over than like go live one place abroad for like a year. I'd rather just like have a home base here or go, because then that's the best way to do it, right? Because you're not paying rent. You can just put all of that money toward travel.
I heard someone talk about using that strategy in the States.
Oh,
They weren't crypto bros, but they were like, you just move to the state that has whatever, the best governor at the time or something, the best rules. So like, okay, Florida's open, there's no restrictions and there's no taxes. It's people are moving there for crypto. You go there now. And then like 5 years from now, it changes. And then you go to Texas and then that changes. And then you go wherever and you just keep moving around.
that's what, I mean, I wouldn't say it was necessarily tax driven, but that's what Jeremy, the CEO of Underdog, has done this past year. You know, he went to the Cape for a little bit. Then he was in Tahoe skiing for a lot of the winter, then went down to Palm Springs, then to Colorado to ski some more. And now he's in Miami for a while. And he's just spent this past year renting Airbnbs monthly. And it like probably isn't that much different than, you know, New York rent or whatever.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I'm just using an example of crypto or taxes or something.
Yeah.
But like whatever your reasoning is, you just keep moving till the one that fits you best.
Yeah. What was Pete's big B-Day present this
happy
year?
Happy birthday. For those who don't know, Pete turned 21 last
21.
Yesterday?
It's funny because I've noticed like some people are very polite of like they want to know how old I am, but they like are worried that I'm going to be offended. And it's not like you're asking me my weight, which I would also tell you. No, but I turned 34, which it seems it's getting it's one of I'm starting to have sticker shock, I guess, with my age.
Well, happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Did you get drunk last night?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Wow. Okay.
I got drunk. Yeah, I went out with my wife for Mexican food, had a bunch of margaritas, and then came back and we did Club Top Shot. And I was drinking a lot on the show. Luckily, not too hungover, but I felt pretty drunk last night. I think the chat will attest.
I mean, that's a pretty sweet birthday to me. Mexican food, margaritas, a little live stream with some buddies.
Yeah, it was honestly it was a very fun day. You know, it's like old you know, like college you're like, oh, you're not going out or whatever, but like Peter now, like hanging out with buddies on a live stream while you're, you know, getting drunk, like that's the highlight of a week for me now.
I mean, the world is different. The world is completely different than when we were growing up. So like you can move now. Like it probably sounds crazy to some people, but now there are ways to get jobs where you don't have to be stuck there anymore, and ways where you don't have to be stuck with a boss too.
There is this thing, you know, everyone, it's like almost like exhausting to talk about because it's been such a common talking point of like, we now spend so much more time, our lives on the internet, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm talking more on the extreme stuff. Like, I don't think I've ever talked to you about like VR, AR, you know, metaverse type concepts. Like, how do you feel about those things? Do you think it's just still too far off, or do you think we are headed in that direction faster than we think?
Oh God. I mean, I love that shit. But like, I mean, I think VR, like even currently, is pretty cool. Like I bought one of those headsets like
I have one. I haven't even used it yet.
Those are fucking cool. I like them. I played the Sony one a couple years ago, and that one wasn't even as good as the phone one. But I love that technology, and I think when they get, I mean, if we're talking down the road here, when they get it to the level where you can just upload, I think it's over, baby. Everyone's going in that fucking thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this idea of like, you know, we're already like with our workstations and stuff, like we're trying to basically replicate what that's offering, being able to have your Twitter stuff up, your Discord chats, the stuff, your entertainment over here, your research and work here, your communication. Like, we're already trying to do that. And it feels like that's what it's trying to simulate for us in just a more streamlined way. It's like, I don't know. It feels like it's coming fast.
That would be interesting if you had the VR like world. What's like Ready Player One or whatever?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But then it'd have to be like, yeah, there it is. Yeah, it'd have to be like on. It'd have to be on the blockchain.
Yeah,
because you can't have just some central business or government. Can't trust them with your consciousness or something. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna Black Mirror upload your consciousness,
yeah,
like it's got to be on the chain.
It is kind of scary. But I also think too, like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to be almost more polarized in that, like, if I'm going to be at my fucking desk or whatever all day, might as well be just plugged into the fucking metaverse and zooming around. But then I want to not be anywhere next to technology. I want to go for a walk in the park or go for a jog or like do stuff out in nature. It's almost the marrying of the two. When you're outside with your phone, that's the stuff that feels gross. I'd rather live on the extremes anyways.
Yeah. I mean, this is like Matrix talk too. It's like, is there a difference once you get to that point?
Brian, can you confirm this?
I haven't tried it. I'd be honest if I have. I'll tell you, I have looked for it. I couldn't find it years ago. I tried like, all right, let's see what this is. But
this is a really dumb question. So I have the Oculus, the Broculus. It was I got it as part of a NFT that Mans bought. This is so dumb. Like, do I buy games for it? Like, I don't even know what I do with it.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like, I tried a few of the games. I just like the immersive world stuff, like dinosaurs and underwater and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is fun. You just do it for like 10 minutes. And like, that's cool.
Okay.
I'm sure the games would be awesome too. If I know they had like motion sickness issues and like they put like some sort of glasses on you or something like that. And that seemed to like tone down the amount of sickness some people would get. I'm sure there's all sorts of issues with that stuff.
Apparently I need to check out VR bangers. I just imagine my wife walking in on me with just this VR headset on and my pants around my ankles. Hey, VR bangers. Yeah, I can recommend. Goodness.
Just don't type in V when you're live streaming your browser. V. That's happened to some DFS personalities.
Andrew, what are you referencing here? I saw Andy on Twitter talking about a DeFi crypto rug pull. Was this Titan or something? Do you know what he's referencing here?
No.
Oh, here we go. Let me see. I see.
He fired Donnie Nelson, the GM, and they had that Bob Vulgaris deal going on. That's all I saw.
Yeah. Did you get it? I didn't get a chance to read that article yet. Did you?
I clicked it and I'm like, oh wait, that's paywall. Delete. Close out.
Let's see here. Trying to see what happened. The Cuban Missile Crisis. What coin is this? I can't even see.
Real?
It looks like it's real. I can't even tell what it is. Okay, need the story. Cuban rugged crypto Twitter or himself got rugged on Iron Finance. I got hit like everyone else. Crazy part is I got out, thought they were increasing their total value locked enough, then bam. Jeez.
How do you get hit but you got out?
I have no idea.
You didn't get all of it out?
That doesn't sound like you got hit if you got out. I don't know.
That's strange.
Jeez. Yeah, I didn't read the article about Bob. It from what I sounded like, it seemed like there was a disconnect, like in a lot of situations, between the clickbait headline and what it was actually talking about, because Mark Cuban had quote retweeted the story and said like, this is total bullshit. And I couldn't tell if he was saying it was total bullshit because they were throwing Bob under the bus, or he was saying it's total bullshit. Bob hasn't been as influential to our front office as they're making it seem.
Yeah, I would say both.
Yeah,
maybe a little both, column A and B. And then, I mean, I have no idea, but then it would seem like Donnie Nelson was the one who leaked all this stuff, and then he canned him. But who knows if any of that's true?
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's sticking with Vulgaris, though. That's smart.
Yeah, I mean, Bob's a badass. Have you ever had any aspirations like that? Like if you got a sick job doing like analytics for a team, would that interest you in any capacity?
I'd rather hire Bob. I'd rather put the team together.
Okay. So you're saying it's more the GM side that appeals to you than the kind of more analytic side.
Yeah, now it does. Back 15 years ago or whatever, after college, I would definitely rather been on the ground floor. But man, barely anyone was doing it back then. But yeah, I would much rather just try to get this. I would go insane. Who's the guy you guys always make fun of? The air raid guy, Kingsbury.
Oh yeah, the Hal Mummy air raid and then Cliff Kingsbury running.
I would be hiring that high school coach who went for it on 4th down like 98% of the time, and just like I would be going crazy. And then like the legacy media guys, like their questions, like I would just let my players say whatever the fuck they want. We pay the fines later if I had Cuban money.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever talked about it on this show. I think I've mentioned it maybe once or on another show, but my cousin works in the front office for the Trailblazers. He's their director of player personnel, and he started as just a scout and kind of worked his way up, and then he became their salary cap expert. And he's kind of like on the trajectory to be a GM because he's marrying kind of those two skill sets, the scouting and understanding, the salary cap inside and out. And that's the thing I think. And he played college basketball too, but that I think that's what's so fascinating too about some of these GMs, because you'll have the more just numbers focused guy like a Daryl Morey. But my cousin kind of taking the more traditional approach of trying to have, both of those skill sets as far as an eye for talent and understanding the numbers.
I mean, I would do it. This is like assuming I have like Cuban like power or money or whatever. But like once I got in there, if anyone questioned me, like the media or whatever, I just give them the finger. And like the fans, I tell them to fuck off, don't come.
Yeah.
Like we're not doing your stupid old school shit. We're doing new stuff. And if you don't like it, fuck off and just hire a bunch of crazy geniuses and try a whole bunch of new stuff.
Yeah.
Blast.
Well, that's been the whole issue with this entire Moneyball trust the process stuff. And you see it happen. You don't really see it happen in the NFL as much. I mean, they tried it in Cleveland, the Sashi Brown era came to an end because it's like in the NBA, they gave him a longer leash, like a 3-4 year kind of rebuild. Like in the NFL, like you can't get away with like more than 2 losing years, I guess, unless you're fucking Adam Gase or whatever. But in general, it's like, you need to be putting out winning seasons. Like you can't do a fucking 5-year rebuild in the NFL.
Right. Yeah. Pace.
Yeah.
Getting off. That's true. I mean, but I don't think any of the coaches are really Mark Cuban. Owners are Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
In the NFL. Really. It's been like the same owners for a long time, for same families.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Do you have thoughts on Levy versus Levy tennis match?
I do not. I'm not paying attention to it. How about you?
Yeah, I get the vibe that Levy's the more skilled tennis player, just even based on the line set. But I also get the vibe that Levitan has been playing way more than him and might just want it more. So I'm actually pretty curious.
Is there any disadvantages for?
Yeah.
What are they?
Yeah, I can pull them up right now. I don't know tennis well enough to like spout these off on my own, but I can pull it up right here.
I was told you were a tennis thought leader.
Here are the things. I will pull up. These are the handicap or whatever that he's giving him. Best of 3 sets. Set 1, Levitan starts 30 love on Levy's serve and 15 love on Levitan's. Set 2, Levitan starts 15 love on Levy's serve and 30 love on Levitan's. If set 3, coin flip for handicap. Tiebreakers, 1st to 10, Levy starts 4-0. Okay. I barely understand any of that.
Okay, so he gets 2 points on his serve and 1 on the other guy's serve.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right. Yeah. So that's a nice head start for him, I would imagine. So yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think they're live streaming it on the ETR YouTube. So
do you know how much they're betting?
I think Levy said he had about 5K down. I think because most people favor Levy, I think it's been harder for him to get action down. I would guess that Levitan has more down in side action. I think he was getting himself at some plus money too.
What is the height difference here? Shooter McGrabham's mentioned it.
So I have never seen Mike in person. Levy's pretty short. I think Levy's like, I don't know. I don't want to, like 5'10". I think is how tall Levitan is. 5'9", 5'10" would be my guess.
Okay.
Maybe
it's not that short.
Maybe it's a little shorter. Maybe he's a little shorter. And yeah, I don't know how tall. I would assume NBL has a couple inches on him though in height. Okay. What else were we going to say? Yeah, you had another one of you had a thought leader tweet about legacy media.
Yes, we've gone over this a few times, but I still love the idea. I hope someone does it. Some content creators pick up on the idea, but this one is for minor league baseball. Because there's some tweets like there's been, I don't know if you've seen these, like minor league baseball, like the Oakland A's, one of their minor leagues, they were serving them like toast and cheese for their clubhouse meal, and there's guys sleeping in their cars and stuff like that. So they've kind of been out there. So I thought, well, it definitely could work for minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Where you just make the broadcast feeds public, free of charge, and let content creators have at it.
Yeah.
Just go crazy. And I guarantee it's going to be better than whatever they put up there, if there's enough interest.
Yeah. And it would be like, there's so many benefits for them too. It's like, think about how you would stumble across talent, like naturally the cream would rise to the crop, like the best programs would start to get the most views and then most stuff. And then like you would be building out like, I don't know, like almost sub community, kind of in the way that like Top Shot did. Like they weren't doing any like marketing, and all these different groups started forming and creating content. And then they've started to go to those content creators. Sometimes that leads to insider trading, but they've been going to them and leveraging that as free marketing. And like these Major League Baseball, minor league baseball could like, it would be free for them to generate massive interest in their product. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And this dovetails kind of into another topic we were going to touch on last week, but never got to, like top-down media versus bottom-up media.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where I heard this term from. It's probably, people have probably already said this and it was just new to me, but it's been out there, where kind of like the whole legacy media, ESPN, NFL, all of it is top-down media. Pretty much everything, ABC, CBS, back in the day. Which means basically they say like, you're going to get Keith Olbermann. If you don't like him, tough luck. You know what I mean? Like you're going to get 2.5 Men. That's the show. If you don't like it, we don't care. Like we make it and then you watch it.
TV Guide era. This is what we're serving tonight and you're going to eat it whether you like it or not.
And then they're the guys who, pick and choose the winners and decide, no, people like this, and if you watch, because I'm at this Airbnb, so I have DirecTV or something, whatever the hell is here. And I never watched live TV, and I've been watching it since I've been here. And I'm like, oh my God, TV's even worse than when I stopped watching. Like they try to force so much garbage down your throat. And it's like, do you think your customers actually want this? Like, what's wrong? Like the commercials are horrible. And like bottom up is the opposite. So like for this, it would be like you release the feed. Theoretically, let's just say it's something popular. Minor league baseball is not that popular. I thought another good one would be like lower card or whatever MMA fights. Like people would watch fights.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. All you need is just throw a camera on there, release the feed, And then you pick from the hundreds, let's say hundreds or so thousands, who knows, of people creating content, just like YouTube or anything, or TikTok or whatever, however you consume media, where you're deciding, more or less.
Isn't that also kind of what the golf bros have always been saying? It's like they get so upset with like the groups or what they show, and it's like, just give us the feed of all the action, we pick it, and then you also pick, like, I want to listen to fucking Pat Mayo talk while I watch golf, not some stiff on CBS.
It would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like and also like they won't, if a lot of times with golf, I haven't been paying attention too much this year. Thursday, non-major Thursdays and Fridays, they don't even play the coverage of the whole day. And it's like, tons of people would want to watch this, especially now that DFS is so popular, and they don't even bother broadcasting it, probably because they don't want to pay like a broadcaster and stuff. But you could throw one camera guy out there, throw the feed up, and then let people, create content around that. So the obvious problem here is like, how do they monetize it? And especially like if minor league baseball, like for minor league baseball, it's like they're probably not making any money anyways, so they could do it. But like, let's say Major League Baseball wants to try it. These cable contracts are, behemoths that make them a ton of money. The more that the top down media, the legacy media falls apart, though, the less they're going to be able to pay for the rights to this stuff. So it might make more sense 5 years from now or something like that for something like this to come about. But I mean, that's obviously the biggest thorn in the idea.
But aren't there ways? Like, I feel like, I mean, it's at that point, it's more of like a technological problem than anything, because it's like they choose what platform they're going to provide that feed on. Say they partner with YouTube for that, and then content creators are going to monetize it through YouTube, and then it's just like built into that contract or whatever, that the PGA is going to get, MMA, minor league baseball is going to get 1/3 of any ad revenue generated from this thing. And then it's just a meritocracy, and the best feeds and the best streams are going to do as well. They get their cut. And then like, it's same for us. Like, we would do that for shows and companion streams. Like I would love to be able to do companion streams with the actual feed. Like, it would be so good. And I'd be willing to part with paltry amount of ad dollars just to have that experience.
For sure. Yeah. And the idea, I think we said before, was like when they have a MMA fight or a boxing match at a bar, supposedly like the bar pays on like a per head. Maybe this isn't right, but this is what like the bartender told me. Like, so like if they have a bigger bar, it could cost them like $5,000 or something to get that match there, because they're like charging them per head. They could do something like that, where like the streams that get 30,000 viewers, they have to pay more. Like maybe even the content creator pays something out of pocket. You know what I mean? Like if it's a small one, the content creator pays the $100, right? And hopefully they make it up in ad revenue, or they pay a fee that's adjustable based on how many people are watching. Plus that ad revenue goes to them, whatever. You can come up with tons of different ways, but
And ultimately too, it's a lack of creativity by them, and it's a short-sightedness. Like if I ran that, instead of like worrying about monetizing every little bit of the video stream itself, why aren't you thinking in terms of, I'm going to bring in more fans, I am going to be able to sell more merch, I'm going to be able to sell more live tickets, all the other kind of creative ways you can do monetization. Like it doesn't have to just be through the feed. Like that's always going to be your best marketing tool. Put it out there, let people fall in love with the sport. If I guarantee I could fall in love with some sports I don't care about if I had entertainers or commentators that I absolutely loved covering it. Like no doubt.
I would much rather. Have you done? I think everyone's done this. You like turn the TV guy down when you're watching a football game or something. Turn the TV guy down and turn on the radio guy because he's better, like the local radio guy or something like that. You try to match it up. Like imagine, but like with thousands of people, and like guys like Gus Johnson or something like that, they might quit their job and start a content, creative company or something around this with them as the focus, and then you get your favorite guy anyways on whatever game he's covering.
Yeah. And I get why, like, say the NFL doesn't feel compelled to do this. They know they're going to get us all to watch Red Zone and whatever as is. But like you said, minor league baseball, I mean, Major League Baseball itself is going to struggle with this next generation. Major League Baseball isn't going to capture Gen Z. I don't even know how the fuck they pull that off unless they are experimenting and trying shit out like this.
That's another reason why I said that. Yeah. And I saw this too, where it's like the ad revenue for these, like, classic, legacy cable stuff like CNN is like 100x what you would pay on the internet. So like they're super expensive still to buy these ads. And I don't know anything about marketing and marketing companies and stuff like that. I'm assuming the people buying those ads know a lot more than me. But to me, that sounds crazy. Like the demographics there have got to be drying up for like the important, 25 to 45-year-olds, people who make a lot of the purchases and stuff. So like if that changes to something, way more reasonable, maybe it's possible. Maybe it's a possibility. Maybe it'll happen. Like Red Zone also is kind of like a little microcosm of it, right? It's like I love Red Zone too because I don't have to watch all the crappy commercials and listen to the dumbass announcers in between plays talk nonsense about gut and
Well, the ultimate for me, and I assume most DFS players, if you would have this. Basically this marriage between essentially what the DK Live app is, right? Where you can just filter for alerts on your players in your lineups. And then you combine that with a red zone type like alert thing where it's like, okay, we're going live to this MMA match that just started. This lineup that you have is looking great. We're going to throw this on your screen. And you're playing MLB today, you're playing NBA, and it is bouncing around in a curated red zone feed based on your lineups. I mean, how incredible of an experience would that be?
With like your sports bets and stuff.
Yes, your sports bets, your futures, you could literally have everything bouncing around. I mean, it would be heaven.
And your favorite YouTubers broadcasting. It'd be 1,000 times better. But no, they'll go, you get Joe Buck. Fuck you.
Dude, and how about this? Let's go full metaverse on it too. Now we're in there and you are getting overlays of the expected value of your bet, the expected projected points for your DFS lineup, like all those things, hedging options, buyout like all of this, all from that experience.
And circling back to VR, have you watched that VR live sporting experience?
No.
Oh my God, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They put like a 360 VR in like 6 different spots in the stadium underneath the hoop and stuff like that. You could look around and you could see Vegas Dave to your right. Like what an honor, and like
his Birkin purse just right there.
But yeah, you're like, it's really like right there. And then like you have like, if you go to like the one I used anyways, if you could go into the whatever, like luxury boxes. And then there's like a computer there and you can look down at the stats of the game going live and stuff. Like it's all virtual. There's no computer there, obviously. And then go back down to the field and you can see the coaches screaming and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, no, that'd be sweet. Speaking of DraftKings, did you see this article expose about their SPAC partners and all that shit?
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
That I guess I didn't get it. I read, the like detailed summary of it, whatever. And I saw a little chatter from DFS Water Cooler. I think I saw Blender's tweet about kind of shrugging it off of saying that this was, stuff that's happening with all kinds of companies. What was your kind of take on it?
Oh, I think DFS players are disproportionately invested in DraftKings, like actually the stock, not like they're
literally invested in it.
Literally invested in it.
So it plummeted a good bit, right? Since that article,
it went down 10%, and then they're back up over halfway. I just looked before we came on stream. It's down like $2.
Yeah. So
it didn't really do a whole ton. I thought it was ironic that like one of the reasons that they are so heavily regulated, the like local officials will tell you, is because of because the mob could be involved in gambling,
right?
So you need the state to protect you, and that was one of the accusations in there. And one of those businesses, I can't remember the names of it, was involved in like the Belarus mob or something.
Yeah. Well, and also too, it's like if the most is the most salacious stuff that these are mob ties for like illegal gambling, and it's like, okay, we're not talking about like child trafficking here, like we're talking about the gambling. Like I don't know, I don't really see why this is such a big bombshell, but
It's
whatever.
it's a ridiculous logic, anyways. Because why was the mob involved in the first place? Because you made it illegal,
And yeah,
just like liquor in the Al Capone Chicago era. Is you made it illegal. And so like they're playing both sides of the coin, of course, where it's like, well, remember when the mob was involved in gambling? We need to regulate gambling because of the mob. It's like, yeah, but you're the fucking reason they were involved.
right.
And then now guess what? They're involved anyways. Like the whole thing's a fucking scam. They have no right to be involved in gambling whatsoever.
Yeah, the mob isn't there aren't bootleggers anymore because there's no need, because any of us can go buy alcohol. Like,
right. Well, all this does give fuel. So like they can wheel in somebody and be like, oh, there was mob interference, more regulation, or some dumb kid will max out all his dad's credit cards. Like, oh, gambling addiction, more regulation. You need us.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it is interesting too. Like they were trying to paint this portrait of, DraftKings has done everything above board. They have all of the official pro sponsors. They even reference Giselle, which I keep forgetting that she's now like consulting them on governance decisions.
Really?
That was part of that article. Yeah. How wild is that?
It's also like they're so big now too. It's like, I wasn't worried. I don't have any DK stock, but it's like that's not what happens to these big companies. Like nothing, they pay a fine and move on.
Is there I don't have any DK stock either. Is there a reason you never invested in it?
I think I did and sold. Like, I don't know. I just gamble when I'm not getting enough gambling in, I gamble on the stock market. I don't even know what I'm doing, but like, do you remember like this years ago, there was this bank, I can't remember which one. I'm sure they're still around, where they were, they knowingly took money from like drug cartels.
I don't think I remember this.
The cash box was so small they couldn't fit like the cash boxes in, that they designed a special cash box big enough so they could just shovel all the money into the bank, right? And they just got fined.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like they're this whole thing's a fuck. Yeah, HSBC. I think maybe that was what was it. Lehman Brothers. One of them. You people know what I'm talking about.
They know what you're talking about.
There's nothing's gonna happen to them. If anything, like I said too, is like once you become this big, regulate. You scream that you don't want regulation. Meanwhile, you're behind the scenes. That's just a negotiating tactic. You're behind the scenes negotiating how you want the bill to be shaped. And you have to start from a position of you don't want any, obviously. Otherwise, you're at a disadvantage. And then you mow off your competition.
Yeah.
And so they'll use the mob and gambling addiction, and then it'll just be 2 or 3 sports books eventually. And we'll all suffer for it.
Yeah. So some poor soul has sat through almost 50 minutes talking about the housing crisis, legacy media, and DraftKings, and they just want Brian to release his Sims for the U.S. Open. Should we talk a little golf here?
Sure.
You ran your stuff. You've already been crunching the numbers. Okay, you're done. I should mention too, I made a DraftKings league for Lolz. It's a small league. It's only a 20-man. I'm going to see if it's filled here. I feel bad promoting it if it's already filled. But I posted that link in the Deposit Kingdom Discord if you guys want to get in there. No, we still got 6 spots. So that link is in the Discord. You hop in the Lolz channel, scroll up a little bit. All right, fire off some hot takes. John Rahm, he's our favorite guy here.
I'm going with the field. I got, let's see what I have him at. I have him at 18.4% own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going just about that.
Okay. Yeah.
The next 2, Spieth and Johnson, I am fading. So that's a little scary. Spieth, I feel like it's Spieth, so it's tough. But like, what do I have his ownership at? Like 9%.
Yeah, Osmo has it at 8.7. What do you have it at?
I have it at 9.5. It could be even lower than that because he's like, pretty expensive for the odds to win. What do I have him? I have him at 3.3% chance to win at almost $1,100. So he could come in pretty low, but either way, I'm fading him and I'm going way under on Dustin too, and over on Bryson.
Over on Bryson. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to see. So Bryson, yeah, his ownership is like outside of the top 10 too.
Yeah, that's probably why. He's also pretty expensive, so he's the third highest priced, and he's not the third highest chance to win. Actually, no, I do have him tied for third.
Any love for Kokrak, or is his ownership inflated because of that recent win?
I like Kokrak. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say Cantlay. Let me check Kokrak.
Kokrak looks like
I'm over on Kokrak.
Okay. Is it is public sentiment? Are people losing steam on Bryson right now of just kind of like going back to him?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also not been playing very well.
Yeah.
So it's not just that people aren't talking about him that much. He hasn't been winning. And did you see that Brooks Koepka footage today? I don't even know if it was real.
No, what was it?
He like was trying to get up like five stairs and like he barely could. And he was like holding the railing because he just had surgery on his knee or whatever not that long ago. But he took second with in the last major.
Yeah.
With when Phil won. So maybe he re-injured it, but I'm under on him. But I still have 8%. So that's a little scary. So I'd watch out for that.
Yeah, public doesn't like Bryson because of his beef with Brooks. Yeah, I can see that. But the DFS pros, do they care about that shit?
Right, but this is the Open though, so it will be a little newbie for a big field. So the ownership's going to be a little wonky. I don't know. I mean, I'm not adjusting for the noobs. This is just my regular ownership for a big field, so we'll see.
Well, any love for Phil Mickelson here? Doesn't look like he's grading too well.
What do I have his ownership at? 6.7% owned. 7,700. And let's see here. I mean, I love Phil in real life, but I don't like go and mess with this stuff. So whatever it gave me, I just kept. Oh yeah, I'm playing. I'm under just under the field.
How big is your player pool?
So I've been my general rule of thumb in the past has always been to try to keep my player pool near or under the cut line, which used to be 70 and it's now 65. Actually, did that change for the Open? I should know that. I have it at 65. I hope that's right. So somewhere around 55 to 70 players.
Mm-hmm.
And I've expanded that now to allow 80 and 90. I'm not sure that's right, but what my player pool before was just logic based. Like I'm just going to try to get as many, like that's the cut line. So I want hopefully if my pool does well, all my guys are making the cut theoretically.
Right. That makes sense.
And now my new one is sim based. The sim keeps telling me, no, you want to play 85 players. You want to play 95 players. And if you look at like the top players in PGA and lineup rewind or whatever the thing's called, lineup study on FC, it varies. Like some guys can go pretty low. And I mean, I get the logic. I think I saw CSU did one where his player pool's 35 or something. And I get the logic. If you guess right, you're going to have all these shots. But it might not have been him. Maybe it was somebody else. But either way, I think that's wrong. Like, I think there's just so much variance. Carl says is it top 60 cuts?
I assume your sim has that info.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't.
Yeah. Should we for old time's sake, and because I don't know if I'm gonna have time to try to do whatever semblance of a process I have, should we build me a lineup here? Oh, that's
Sure.
Osimo's rankings, not my screen. Let me go over to DraftKings. Here we go. Okay, so this is classic Lolz build. This is where we build a lineup so gross that the chat wants to vomit after it.
I use it as a anti-jinx mechanism.
Yeah, it's just a dummy lineup for you to hedge off of.
Okay, then we can't take Xander or Finau
because you have too much of them.
Yeah, I think Finau is probably the best play.
Okay, can I want Bryson in this lineup? Can we have Bryson?
God damn it! All right,
you can't X off the whole board.
Fair enough.
All right, you get to pick now.
Well, I don't have any. No, hold on. Let me look. The group, if you go down to Cam Smith, no, okay, so 80. Go to the 8,000 range then. Yeah. Those guys I like. All those guys right there. So Smith, Casey, Answer, Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
I don't mind Uthisen above him as well.
Okay, you pick one, and then I'm gonna let the chat pick one from this range as well.
Okay, let's do. Let's let chat pick two. What's the difference?
Okay,
who
chat.
Who do you guys like there?
Give us two from this range.
Smith, Casey, Answer, Fitzpatrick.
This is how you. I mean, how much EV am I giving up in this 20-person $5 contest and just letting everyone know my lineup before we go into it?
Well,
please don't dupe me, bros.
Yeah, if they dupe you in a 20-man, it might be worth it for them for the bid equity, but not a good strategy for taking money.
Okay. We have lots of suggestions here. I see two Ustis. I see two Caseys. I see an Answer. I see a Casey, or do I have two?
Two Caseys, Answer,
Scheffler. This is
a Fleetwood.
Man, we don't have a consensus here. This is tough. Let's go. So I heard Usti. We got
Usti's
two Ustis
twice. They'll throw him in there.
Who else was twice? Did we have two Caseys?
No, they're actually going off board, off our required player picks.
Wait, is Paul Casey part of your picks?
Yes.
Okay, we have two Caseys, Michael and Andrew here. So
Casey in there. This is a 20-man too, so you don't need to do anything crazy.
Someone wanted us to go lower down to Fleetwood. How's Fleetwood looking?
Well, we're at 7,800 left, so Fleetwood would fit on the average.
Okay.
Fleetwood's like an off the board pick though. He's going to be pretty low on, like 6%.
Not in this Lolz contest, man. After we pump him up here, we're looking at least 40%.
All right.
I
can see it. He's been playing like garbage, but like he's performed in the past in majors and stuff. So.
Do we need to go dumpster diving for buddy? How about we get a Kokrak in here?
If you like Kokrak, go for it.
You told me he's looking fine.
I'm playing him.
Okay. All right. That leaves us with 8,200.
Let's take a gander.
Connors, Rose, Answer.
Let's
Mark likes Connors.
Yeah, he's good. Connors, Rose. I have I have Cam Smith better than Connors.
Okay. Done. There it is. I'm leaving $200 on the table right there. That's how it's done.
Wow.
Should I put this in the Millie?
I think you should.
Okay.
It's probably going to win.
Yeah.
So that means you probably should do it. Not that one. The other.
Oh, this was a dummy lineup. Wait, $100. Oh my God. In this economy? Are you kidding me? What was Osimo's tweet about winning 3 Millie makers this week?
There's 3 Millie makers.
Wow.
The 4,400 probably is full maybe, and it's just not showing anymore.
Okay. All right. There we did it. I need to get this other dummy lineup for our buddy Matt's RotoViz Bogey Free Listener League. You got to get that in there too. All right. We did it. Thank you guys for, I just did my homework live on stream. That's how you do it, Brian.
Congratulations, son, on the millie.
Yeah. It'll be very exciting for us.
Would you rather have $1 million?
Let's do this.
Or $50 every week? Did you see that tweet?
Yeah. It was like trying to make something about how passive savings is more important.
Yeah. So stupid.
So stupid.
I was thinking, I spent like 20 minutes like, okay, how can I make fun of this?
Yeah.
And I was like, you can invest $50 in the Top Shot every week.
Which I did.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channels, please do so. We have the audio link down below. Podcast goes up every Wednesday night, a little bit after the show ends. We appreciate you guys, and take a long, hard look at Brian's Airbnb because you're never going to see it again.
Mm-hmm. Say goodbye.
Say goodbye. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.